on most podcasts. But this is what I want to talk about, the emerging stars. So we already have 4 emerging stars. I picked out 2. Blake picked out 2. And we're basically going to talk about the 2 emerging stars that we picked. For the first episode or first podcast episode, we're obviously going to go high. But as we continue doing these emerging stars, we're going to go into the 3 stars. We're going to go into some 4 stars, maybe even some 2 stars that we believe can turn into a 3 or 4 star next year. There's always
and just some big jumpers, because the recruiting is changing weekly. They come out with new rankings. Look for biggest climbers.
Yeah, but we're not going to see that much change because due to COVID-19, because spring ball and the spring training camps and stuff.
7-on-7s.
But during the summer, whenever 7-on-7 gets really big and all these big corners and receivers and quarterbacks start playing on those teams, and recruiters are always there scouting every single day. I think this is going to be very interesting to see that, and I think me and Blake are going to be happy talking about the emerging stars of the 2021 class. So with my first guy that I chose, he's the number 5 guy in the nation. He's the number 1 dual threat quarterback in the nation, Caleb Williams. So far, his top schools are Oklahoma or LSU. That can always change because it's so early in his recruiting part right now. He's only a junior in high school. So all these guys we're going to be talking about are juniors in high school. But Caleb Williams, he was absolutely good. He jumped. He exponentially got better. His stats exponentially increased. He had 2,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. And that may not sound like amazing numbers, but he also is projected, or he also says that he runs a 4.57 40, and for a quarterback that's only a junior in high school, that's crazy speed. And so I don't even know. I couldn't find his rushing yards that he had last season, but I assume it's over 500. Caleb Williams, he's the number 5 guy in the nation. He's gonna be good. Blake, do you have any thoughts on him?
Yeah, I saw him trending to LSU, but it looks like Oklahoma's taken over because, why would a quarterback not want to go to Oklahoma when they produced 3 Heisman winners in a row until this year and a Heisman finalist this year?
Yeah,
he's got size. He's got everything you need in a quarterback.
Yeah, he's typically bigger than Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He's 6'1", a little bit heavier. So and he's I think faster than Baker Mayfield. May not be faster than Kyler Murray, but but he's still pretty good. And then the next guy I have is Will Shipley. He's a running back out of North Carolina. His stats are insane. He's the number 1 all-purpose back in the nation. I think he's the number 4 back in the nation. Total, everything back in the nation. But all-purpose, he's number 1. He's the number 20th ranked national player. His top schools right now are Notre Dame and Clemson. But whenever I read you these stats, you will be surprised. He had 2,066 rushing yards in one season. So that's already crazy because there's not 17 games like an NFL season, and then he had 30 rushing touchdowns on top of that. So you think those stats right there are crazy, but he's an all-purpose back. He's the number 1 all-purpose back for a reason. He also had 582 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. So that boy is crazy. Will Shipley, hopefully we see his commitment and his process, because I think it's going to be crazy how he turns out next season and what his stats are. But
yeah, and no, but moving on to my 2 people, this may seem a little biased, but Damon Payne, defensive tackle out of Belleville. He's the number 27th player ranked nationally. He was 34. He moved to 27, so that's a good little jump. 6'3.5", 297. So he's obviously got run stuffing. Look like it's going to be his main goal. But to be the number 3 D tackle, it's kind of shaky what it's looking like. The top 3 schools from looking like Alabama, Ohio State, Kentucky. I couldn't really find his stats anywhere, but hopefully, I mean, I want to see him wearing scarlet and gray coming up. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where he unfolds. He's a riser. He was a 4-star, went to a 5-star. You want to say anything about Damon Payne, Mateo?
No, I was gonna say something about his size, but you already said basically 6'3.5", and he's only a junior, so he's gonna continue to grow. He may grow a couple inches. I know some people from their junior to senior year they grew 5 inches. So
yeah,
And
my next guy, another running back, LJ Johnson. He's the number 4 running back in the nation. He's only a 4-star. Only. That's still crazy. He's ranked 51st in the nation. But this is another player whose stats are crazy. He's 5'10", 204, so, regular running back size. He had 1,951 rushing yards, which, I mean, comparing that, it's almost same as Will Shipley's. But he had 37 rushing touchdowns.
Dang.
That just amazes me. Considering, like Mateo said, you get 10 to 12 games guaranteed, then you have the playoffs. I mean, his receiving stats were still decent for a running back, 100 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. And, his top schools right now, because he kind of dropped in the rankings, though. He dropped 21 spots. No one really knows where he's going, but his top schools right now are Georgia, A&M, LSU, Oklahoma, and Stanford. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes the race for LJ Johnson.